Okay everyone, many of my students have trouble understanding the difference between see, look and watch, and then hear and listen. So today I'm going to explain the difference so you can understand clearly. I'm going to start first with listen and hear, because if you can understand the difference between these two, then see, watch and look will be a bit easier. So I'll explain those ones after. Listen is used when we are paying attention to the sound. So for example, if I have my headphones on, or if I'm using a speaker and I'm listening to music, this is because I want to pay attention to the music. I put it on purpose, so I'm listening to music. However, hear is done without our attention. It's done by accident, if you like. For example, if I'm talking to my friend in a cafe and there is music playing in the background, then in this case, I'm not listening to the music. I'm listening to my friend. You know, my focus is on our conversation. So in this case, I can just hear music. So I could be talking with my friend and he could say, "Do you hear that music?" And I could say, "Ah, yes, I hear the music, but I'm listening to you. My focus is on you. Yeah, I'm listening to what you are saying." So we use hear to just explain the ability to hear something. So if I'm talking to somebody on a video chat, for example, then I might say, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" And I'm asking, is my voice too quiet? Is my voice not clear? Is it clear enough? Yeah, can you hear me? Whereas listen, like I said, is done with our intention. It's done with attention. So if I'm talking to a child and maybe the child is, looking out of the window and they're not focusing, then in this case, I know he can hear me, but my question would be, are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Because I'm asking, are you paying attention? Okay, let's talk about see and look. So I explained that hear is passive, or without your attention, and see is similar. See is often used without really focusing on something. It's just our ability. So similar to the earlier example, I said if I'm in a video chat, I can say, "Can you hear me?" I can also say, "Can you see me?" That means, is my screen clear? Is the video working? Can you see me? So if something just appears in front of us, then we would use the word see. Like for example, if I'm in a cafe and I see my friend walk past. Yeah, I see my friend walk past. I'd say, I can see my friend. I see my friend over there. It's just by chance. Whereas look is again with my attention. So if I have a book, then I could say, I'm looking at this book. So I'm taking some time. I want to read the book. I want to look at the pictures. So my focus, my attention is here on the book. Now, look and watch. So watch, like look, is active, it's with your attention, but the difference is that watch is for, or only for moving things, or it's when we want to look at the movement of something. So that's why you probably already know we say, let's watch a movie, because the movie is moving and we watch it for a period of time. Whereas if it's not moving, so if it's a map, a book, a picture, we would say look at. Let's look at this map. Let's look at this book. So when we use watch, then we are focusing on the movement of something. So for example, if I'm talking to somebody, again, let's say I'm talking to a child, and I think the child is not listening to me, they're not paying attention, they're looking out of the window, then I would say, please look at my face. Because I just want them to look at my face, it doesn't matter about the movement. But if I want to show you pronunciation of a word, then I would say, watch my mouth, or watch my face. Like, watch the movement so I can show you the pronunciation of a word. So watch is focusing on the movement of something. This last part is for the more advanced learners, but if you can understand this difference, your English is going to sound really good. So, like I said, listen, watch, and look are with our attention. We're doing it on purpose. So the same is true for not watching, not listening, and not looking. So like I said earlier, see is used for ability. So if I'm watching a movie and my friend sits in the way, and my friend is blocking my view, then I would say, hey, I can't see the movie. I can't see the movie because I'm just talking about my ability. Whereas if it is a very scary movie and I don't want to watch it, you see, because it's too scary, then I would say I can't watch. Because you see, watch is on purpose. It's with my attention. Yeah, I'm doing it actively, not passively. So I can't watch. It's too scary. And it's the same for listen. So if something is, again, too scary, or maybe it's an embarrassing story, you could say, I can't listen. You know, it's like, I don't want to listen. I can't listen. Which is different from I can't hear, because I can't hear just means your voice is too quiet, or you're not speaking clearly. And one final point is look is often just used to get someone's attention. So even if it's moving or it's not moving, when it's just getting someone's attention, that isn't so important. So people might say, look at this book, which is not moving. Or they might say, look at this movie. It's just to get your attention. But then after that, if you're talking about sitting there for a long time, then it's watching and watching. But look can be used just to get someone's attention. Hey, look at this, look at that. Okay, that's it for today. Some of this was a bit difficult, but the important thing to remember is that look, watch, and listen are active, with focus, with your attention. Whereas see and hear are just passive, and they're just your ability. Thank you for watching this video. Comment below with your questions or thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all back here next time.